The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast NH. This is a podcast designed by writers for writers on the journey to being published. Joined Mandra Biscornet.
It was so healthy and nutritious.
Deborah Monk.
Can we open each podcast with a dance number?
Shelley Devlin.
It was so full of inspiration and sparkles.
Every Tuesday morning live on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to catch the podcast anytime on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, or your favorite podcast catcher. It's time to be inspired, feel empowered, and be well with the Writer's Block Podcast NH.
And welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast. I'm Mandra.
I'm Debbie.
Thank you for joining us at the Writer's Block, where our mission is to inspire, empower, and help people be well. We are at Studio 21 Podcast Café on this Tuesday morning, and today we bring back Larry Brill to discuss an exciting new project he's working on that will give authors a new platform for their works. Larry and several published authors are joining forces with two independent bookstores in Austin to put on monthly book signing events that will be recorded, edited, and posted to a new website and dedicated YouTube channel. They hope to launch this summer. It's called Austin Liddy Limits, which is a play on the famous Austin City Limits music show. And we welcome back Larry to tell us more about how that will work.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Nice to be here with you, Mandra, Debbie. Sorry Shelley couldn't make it. I guess she's, sipping margaritas
in Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the warm weather.
Yes. Mandra and I have talked about taking the Writer's Block on the road and meeting her down there.
There you go. I think it's an excellent idea.
Yeah, maybe we should stop in Texas on our way to Mexico.
Absolutely. What's going on in Texas, Larry?
What's going on in Texas? Well, the weather is just absolutely freezing out here. I think we're at 55 degrees right now.
So yeah, we were at 21 yesterday.
Kind of weather. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor
but
you.
Life is good. Life is wonderful.
Good. So we're very excited to hear about you have this new way to help promote writers. We do so much talking about how difficult it is to get the word out once, first you have to write the book, and then once you do, you don't realize there's this whole second mountain you have to climb of getting the word out there. And so we hear you have this new project. We can't wait to hear about it. Wink, wink. We're hoping we'll be invited.
Well, if you're ever in the Austin area, we would love to get you on camera because you're both of you just have so much energy and sparkle. You have what's known in the TV news business. We used to call it it. People, I think, have heard about that. And you both have it. So
the it factor.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that.
And if you've got it, flaunt it. See, there you go.
Oh, I hear flaunt and I can't help myself.
I know. We have to watch our language around you.
I guess so. This idea came about. We were sitting around talking, a couple of author friends of mine and I were talking about the fact that we have two really, really good independent bookstores. And one of them is one of the biggest in the country. It's called Book People. And it's famous. And they have huge names coming in from time to time. The Clintons both did signings here at Book People.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know who Jasper Ford is. He's coming into town. But there's been a number of really big names. And then like the B list and the C list who still have their followings, but they're coming into town. So we're going to try and work with them. But primarily, we have this really awesome writing community here in the Austin area. And there are a lot of authors they've been on the New York Times bestseller list. A number of them have been. They've got a tremendous following in and of themselves. And we want to try and get them to come in and do book signings. We'll record it. And are either of you familiar with Inside the Actors Studio, the famous
PBS I've heard of it.
show with James Lipton, it's no longer, he retired, too bad. But we want to do professional question and answers as opposed to relying on the audience to say, where did you get the ideas for your book? The same kinds of things. we have somebody in our group who has some TV news experience.
I wonder who that would be.
I don't want to mention any names.
Larry
I
Brill.
won't mention any names, but we want to take the questions beyond the typical ones that authors get when they're doing a book signing.
Yeah.
Combine that with a little bit of reading, and then produce it in a slick, more professional way, and then post it to the internet site that we're going to build, and have that as a way for drawing in their fans. And then while their fans are on our website, hopefully we'll be able to promote the other authors and say, well, if you liked Scott Semigran, you never heard of him, but if you like Scott Semigran and what he had to say, here are a couple of other authors who are local, who are on our website, or if they're not on our website, here's a couple of other authors who are local who write kind of like that. Just go out there and just, do a quick little search and see if you think you might like their book too. And so we're trying to bring the community together to where authors can feed off of each other. Sounds like a school of piranha.
No, it sounds wonderful.
If it works, the main thing is if you're a small-time author, if you're an indie author, it's so hard for people to even know you exist. So anything you can do that gets one or two more people to
know your name,
even out there, then that's a plus.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things, Deb, that you've often felt is, I'm doing these videos. Okay, I'm on Facebook. I'm doing the book signings. How, the time and effort and energy that you put into all these things that are so different from your craft.
Right.
Your author skill set. That you sometimes feel like, what am I doing?
Well, over the holidays, Larry, my novel, Well-Behaved Woman Coming Undone, I put together a gift package where I had wine glasses printed up and also coffee mugs printed up. And I went around and I got into about 10 or 12 little retail stores, and which seemed like a really good idea. And potentially it was a really good idea. Now my garage is filled with wine glasses and coffee mugs. So, I spent a lot of time, and then now after the holidays, now I have to do all the follow-up and realizing, boy, that was a lot of work and a lot of energy and a lot of time and a fairly large output of expense. And you just think, okay, I guess maybe the way I have to look at it is maybe I definitely sold some, so maybe I gained some. I guess I think we're just always looking for that, that magic takeoff point where it starts to kind of grow, and I haven't really.
And you see those results,
right?
One of the things that a lot of people ignore, and I'm trying to be better at this myself, because I've had some of my best sales days have been going to the local Rotary Club and doing a talk.
That's on my list.
Yeah, going to community events and giving a talk, doing something at the library for an author day. Granted, the sales will be like 20 or 25 books, about like your typical book signing might be at the bookstore. But it gets the name out. And then, of course, because I've got 3 novels, each of the novels that I sell, if I sell Deja Vu, which is the newest one, inside you'll find a bookmark for The Patterer, which was number 2, which has a bookmark for Live at 5, which was book number 1. And in each case, they have some sort of snarky, funny little line in there that will give you a sense of what the book is about. So that's a marketing tool. But this is awesome. I am going to announce this today. Nobody knows this. It's brand new.
Ooh,
this
and
is my latest,
I wish we had
greatest
breaking
promotional idea.
Now breaking on the Writer's Block podcast.
Yeah, we need a sign.
Larry
Breaking
Brill.
news.
Oh, yeah.
And we need a paper.
Breaking
the only one I
news.
have here is, Larry@larrybrill.com. Go ahead.
Now breaking news.
Give me a shout out. But tomorrow night, I am going to go. There you go. I like that. Tomorrow night, I am going to go to my favorite little Italian restaurant right down the street from us. I'm going to sit down at the bar. I'm going to put Deja Vu up on a stand with a little sign that says, "Buy the writer a drink and get this book for free."
Really?
Yeah.
Won't you end up
Now,
drunk?
When you think about it,
Well,
to
that
get
would be
my
a good
copy-
sales day.
To get my copies of Deja Vu cost me about $4.50 for each copy.
Yep.
The wine at this bar costs $8. So I am going to double my profit.
You're also
With
going to
every
end
sale,
up sick as a dog the next
glass
day.
of wine out of the deal.
What
I
if
don't
you?
know.
What if you? That's
it may
a
not be
great
the smartest
idea.
promotional idea, but I love it.
Damn it! When are you doing it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh, wouldn't it be the best? Oh God, I wish you were closer. If I could drive to you, I would show up.
What bar are you going to
If you
be
left
at?
now, you might make it in time.
Yeah, because a lot of people, we have listeners all over the country.
Right.
What's the name of the place?
What restaurant are you going to be at?
It's called Reali's
Reali's.
Pizza and Cafe.
Okay.
It's in Northwest Austin.
RIALL?
It's sort of like it is my version of Cheers. There are people who, whoever does buy me a drink is probably somebody I already know, but
It probably already has your book. Hopefully.
no, unfortunately they keep saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to buy your book." And
Right.
then, did you buy the book? No, well, not yet, but I'm going to buy your book. And okay, did
Right.
you buy the book? No, it's like, well, all right.
Here's my glass of wine.
No, I actually have had a number of sales there, but it's just fun because they're such a good crowd, and it is so much like Cheers. And it's a family-owned, friendly little bar, and if need be, I can walk home if I have to.
Did you have to ask permission of the owners?
Oh, he doesn't know I'm going to do this yet.
He doesn't. Oh, he doesn't. But you know him?
I do know him, yes.
Oh,
Because
boy.
he comes in and he slaps everybody's back, and he is a wonderful. By the way, my next novel is going to be called God's Day Off. And
Good title.
It's basically, how God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. Who was in charge on the seventh day?
Larry, your mind is a little wonky. I love it.
It is. It's Bob Reale. It's the owner of this restaurant because he's short. He talks like a mob boss. He runs his restaurant like a mob boss. He's potty mouth, for lack of better terms. He would be a great character to have in charge of.
For the one day.
Is he
Everything for
the
the one
character
day.
For the
you're
one
using
day.
in your book?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't asked him permission to use him in the book yet. He doesn't know, but he'll find out when it comes out.
Right. He'll love it.
Will you send us a picture of you at the bar tomorrow? We'll post it on our Facebook page
Absolutely.
after the fact.
I will do that.
But there's there's a clever thought.
Right. That's thinking out of the box marketing.
Right.
That's like packaging wine glasses and
Yes.
coffee mugs.
Oh,
and
God. If I should overnight, I wonder how much it would be. If I overnighted you a wine glass of Well-Behaved Woman Coming Undone, would you use it tomorrow?
If nothing, I would use it tomorrow, and I would take a picture of it and email it to you.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, after the fact, we'll have to ask for your address.
Yes, we'll get all that.
Oh, I'm so distracted now. I've lost everything.
At least we're having fun.
Yes, back to the show.
Great.
So,
Okay,
do you
back
have
to the show.
do you have your lineup of guests?
We have the first 5.
Will they be
set up.
filmed live or taped in
No,
advance?
we're not gonna do live. We're going to tape it and produce it as best we can, and then post it later. And again, the website and all of that. Our schedule launches this summer.
Okay.
It could be September-ish before we actually get up online, because we want to make sure that it looks good and that
Yep.
it's working well before we actually go live on the internet.
Why do you think it seems important for readers to get to know the authors, to connect? Because you mentioned
Great
also
question.
author profiles on your website, and it sounds like this. Why is that such a big piece of the marketing?
I think it's a big piece because it's going to help you stand out from all the authors they don't know. And if they can have some sort of connection that is particularly weird, like, for instance, let me ask you a question, Mandra. Tell me something about you that most people don't know.
Okay, so most people know that I follow a pretty clean, healthy diet, but most people don't know that one Halloween, I actually took a cupcake out of the trash and I ate it because I just wanted that something sweet so badly. Now, fair enough, it was a clean trash bag. It was the only thing in there. But most people wouldn't know that.
Says George from Seinfeld.
Yes, I really just need, and I'm looking at it going, is this what it has come to? I'm eating a cupcake out of the trash?
Had you been drinking?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that probably helps. But and those are the kinds of things that if you have a reader who is aware of you, but maybe hasn't quite bought in to that, they're going to go, that lady is weird.
Yes.
Right.
But I like that. And if it doesn't generate a sale, because that's what writers want, this return on investment right away. And it doesn't work that way. The whole point of your marketing is just to grow, keep growing, and keep growing, and keep growing, unless lightning strikes.
I think we need to let that settle in.
Yeah, can you
Most
say that again?
authors want.
No, I want him to say it.
Okay.
Say it slowly and deeply.
Most authors want.
No, not even that part.
Right.
The next part.
Yeah.
All right. Most authors want the immediate satisfaction, immediate gratification of a sale. They want to do something and say, okay, then it's turned into sales. But the whole point of your author platform is simply to grow it and just keep growing it through time, because unless lightning is going to strike and you just happen to come out with a book that hits at the right time, that gets sales and gets noticed and gets then covered by the New York Times or USA Today and gets the promotion, and then Tom Hanks calls you up and says, hey, I came across your book. I want to turn it into a movie.
Nancy Myers. What you mean?
Yeah.
Nancy Myers calls me and says, I want to turn Well-Behaved Woman into a movie? Because she does a lot of movies with Jack Nicholson in any chance you know her. Do you know Nancy Myers?
Yeah. Do I know her personally? No.
By any chance? I can't even find how to reach her.
Yeah.
Do you have her address?
I don't. But I have a friend who has a cousin who works for Johnny Depp.
That'd work. I'd take Johnny.
So when my second book, The Patterer, came out, and he's right in the middle of the Pirates of the Caribbean. See, this the pirate thing.
Yes.
I sent the book to her cousin, and her cousin told me that she actually did hand that book to Johnny Depp.
Wow.
And he hasn't called me yet.
But he probably is. He's waiting. He wants to get a little older.
Yeah.
But let's go back to that.
Well,
people want to get to know you so that you stand out from all the others,
Right.
other authors that they don't know.
It's like my friends at Realities. A lot of them have bought my book because they happen to know me, and that's one of the things. They love to read stuff that is by somebody that they happen to know. Another thing is I have a Facebook group that I belong to, and it is a collection of like a decade's worth of people who graduated from my high school. We're all alumni of the same school. Well, when I wrote Deja Vu all over again, I used my high school as the setting. You changed the names, fictionalized it, and all of that, and I put it up. And I've had more sales from all the people who belong to that group because they're going, oh, I know this guy.
My high school.
I know this setting. Right. I am so familiar with this. And a lot of them are going to look at that and say, that's me. I recognize that character, and they're going to think it's them when it was like their best friend.
Yeah.
Especially the girls. The girls would go, oh, I didn't realize Larry was in love with me all this time, and he wrote about me in his book. And when I was actually talking about her best friend.
Or her sister.
Happens a lot, yeah.
But that's a really good, because some of the things that I've done that I've really enjoyed doing, like the videos to the mailbox, not that I should do any more of those, but when they didn't do something, which I'm not even really sure what they were supposed to do or how many sales they were supposed to translate into, I thought, well, that didn't work. And so, I thought, well, I need to figure out the thing that's going to work. But what you're saying is, no, you just have to keep doing the things that you like doing, realizing the goal is not to say, well, I got 100 sales or 1,000 sales. Just do what you like to do and let it grow, and trust that people are getting to know you that way.
Yeah.
That's really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you're hoping to do with Austin Lily Limits. Will just give authors even more of a platform to get to know their readers or readers to get to know them and share friend. Like if you have, 20 people that are going to listen to you. And I have
Yeah,
5,
right. It's to introduce me to another author's fan base.
Right.
Exactly.
And then that author, to introduce them to somebody else's fan base so that we're all part of one big community.
Right. Because obviously Larry's fans are going to watch the show and they may have never heard of the Writer's Block podcast before this.
Yes.
Just like you found us because Lisa Tenner was our guest.
And that's a little bit of what we're
Exactly.
trying to do is create a community for more beginner writers to have a place to learn some of this information and
as we're learning.
Right.
Yeah, we're not really
Yeah.
promoting ourselves as the experts, although Jonathan doesn't like it when I admit that. We're saying, join us on our messy, ugly,
up and down,
not successful sometimes journey and company. It's have company, like-minded people.
Yeah.
Wow, this was great.
Your audience is other authors. Our audience is going to be the readers.
Well, that's one of the things that we've realized recently is that here our audience is writers, which doesn't necessarily going to translate into readers for us, on a grand scale.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I am, I'm.
well, and authors can be readers too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Although my wife is a better reader than I am in that we have a small chain of stores that's here in Texas called Half Price Books. And it's a lot of used books for the most part, but they're large used bookstore. And I'll go in and I'll pick out 1 or 2 books that might sell for $4 or $5, $6 a book. She goes to the bargain bin with a big bag and she buys the dollar specials. And she walks out, and of course I have to carry them. I lug them out to the car, but she goes through every single one. And she's much better about sticking with a bad book, where if I read it and I get bored, I don't have time, I'll toss it aside and start something new. But she reads them by the pound.
Wow.
All right, Larry, tell us again where people can find you and be looking for the Austin Lily Limits.
How much time do we have, by the way?
How much do you need?
All right,
love to have your offer.
Yeah, we have a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
Ed, we got a couple minutes?
Of course.
Okay.
All right. Lair, which is short for Larry, Lair at larrybrill.com. Okay?
Okay.
And what I want to do is I want to offer all of your listeners and your viewers, and if you would like a copy of Deja Vu All Over Again, a comic novel, romantic comedy, send an email to me at larrybrill.com, and the first 3 people who send me an email with the subject matter, snark me. Snark me is your subject matter. Send that to me, and then tell me that you saw the podcast or you heard the podcast, and I will make arrangements to get you a copy of Deja Vu All Over Again, which, by the way, is getting 5-star reviews all over the place.
Oh, congratulations
Good for
on
you,
that.
Larry. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you for giving that offer to our readers.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is like our first giveaway.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Larry, for coming on.
Oh, and by the way, I will also give you a free, Debbie's going to give you a free wine glass.
Yes.
See, I have this bad habit of doing things and asking permission later.
Right. Like the restaurant owner
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear about that.
I can't wait to hear about that, Larry.
I hope he enjoys it.
Thank you for listening, and thank you to the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. Please check out the Writer's Block NH Facebook and the Writer's Block podcast on your favorite podcast catcher. If you'd like to hear this episode again or share it with a friend, you can head over to the UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. You can find this episode and all previous episodes on the United Podcast Network TV. Thank you again, and may you be inspired, feel empowered, and be well.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.